what a luxury it is to play in front of that team, to play in front of that group with the way they play. That's a goaltender's dream.
Game 1, Tampa Bay for the Islanders. Mac, as much as we want to give credit to the Tampa Bay Lightning for being defending champions, I didn't think that they showed Islanders any respect in Game 1, and they got burned.
It was a tough game to watch. I was thrilled with the way the Islanders played. It was a great. If you're a young aspiring coach, you watch the way that this team played, and you would learn a lot about coaching. From Tampa Bay's perspective, it started off for me that they couldn't get out of their own end. They had a challenge through the neutral zone. They like to play a bit of a high-risk neutral zone game with cross-ice passes to gain entry, and it helps in a lot of cases. I'm telling you, Nick, last night's game reminded me of the Columbus Blue Jackets versus the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 4-game sweep. That's what it reminded me of. Bruins, I have never seen forechecking in a game much better than I saw last night with the way the Islanders forechecked. Old-time forechecking style, system, and you know what? Tampa Bay couldn't get the puck going. It was a great forechecking. You could take clips off that forecheck, how pressure with physical play, take away the pass, close off the middle. It was exceptional forechecking.
Mac, at what point, if you're Cooper, do you just tell your players, take the east-west pass in the neutral zone and shove it up your ass? We are never cutting across the ice again because the Islanders are there. Bailey's there. Pajot's
Big
there.
time.
Brock
Big
Nielsen's
time.
there. Every time they try to go cross east-west, these guys are in perfect position. And I know Stamkos took a lot of heat off the most important goal in the game. But when you keep going to the well over and over again and everybody's doing it, it's only a matter of time before you get burned.
He said his team learned a valuable lesson when they lost to Columbus, and it certainly looked like they did last year. This is another really interesting test for them, because if they don't figure out how to get out of their own zone and through the neutral zone, number one, you're not going to draw penalties. You draw most of your penalties in the offensive zone. They got to get into the offensive zone and play in there so that.
We just lost Mac, I believe. Let me just turn my camera on so it gets readjusted for when he comes back in. But he just popped out. We're not sure if he got a phone call or not. Maybe, Joe, you could send him a text. And
I think what happened was
yeah, I got it.
Cool,
Jill
thanks.
bought a car.
Hey, and he had to pay the bill real quick. He had to send them over on PayPal, right?
He's got to send over the Visa, or no, probably he's going to his mattress right now.
No,
He's back.
That was a goddamn spam call.
Oh my God. We're trying to reach you on your vehicles.
Got everything on this phone turned off that I can possibly do. Like, this is a joke.
I think.
Anyway.
Can you turn the camera back on when you get a chance, Doug?
Mac, I think Jill bought a car. I think Jill bought her car and you had to go pay for it.
What the hell? That pisses me off. It's
what
Vanessa.
What kind of span was
Vanessa
it?
Get lost. What?
You know what the best is when like my dad will get student loan forgiveness and he's like, bro, I'm 65. I'm done. I'm over it. Like, there is no forgiveness. The forgiveness is me dying. Give me a break here.
Oh, it's sickening. But anyway, if they don't play in the offensive zone and draw penalties, you know what? Tough series for Tampa Bay.
They're the least penalized team the last 2 years in the playoffs.
I know.
They're so disciplined.
I know.
And I don't know, at times people can call it boring but it's as perfect as a team can get, Mac, out there. And we know when there's no mistakes, it isn't as entertaining. It isn't as open. There's not as many chances, but I don't think Barry Trotz and Lou Lamoriello give a shit.
And I'll tell you, it's a coach's dream when your team believes in what you're doing and believes in how we play. Everybody that's interviewed by the Islanders, whether it's Barzal, Palmieri, Nelson, Bailey, they all come back to the same thing. We believe in how we play. In other words, we believe in our system. We believe in our coach. We believe in our teammates. They're believers. Now, it's still going to be a hard series. Tampa Bay can still win this series. Tampa Bay should win this series. But if they don't get power play opportunities, like 19 goals scored by Kucherov, Stamkos, and Point, 13 of them on the power play.
I knew.
You know?
I knew Tampa Bay was in trouble when the start of the third period, they were flatter than piss on a plate, Mac. And
I know.
Kucherov's flat-footed, and for the first time since he's been back, that's the type of game that you expect in game one, coming off missing the whole season.
Yep.
You were wondering when this guy was going to kind of come back down to earth. This was the game.
But you know why you can't count them out, Nick?
No.
Did you see the play? Did you see the play Point made on that goal he scored?
Yeah.
Limited space, makes an extra move.
Yeah.
Like how many people you see make that move and go top shelf?
And then go top shelf, right? And then go right underneath the bar.
Unbelievable. So you can't count them out. They've got too much talent. I didn't like Cooper benching Stamkos. I'm sorry. This is the conference finals. I mean, this benching and yelling and like Bednar and Cooper, come on. These are stars. This is when it counts. Give them a blast in the dressing room. Bring them into your office. Give them shit on the bench. But we're benching Steven Stamkos in one of the most important games of the year, and Bednar's calling out his top line in public. Wow. Where are their heads?
Didn't see ice until the power play opportunity at the end of the period, and you just wonder.
Wrong. You've been on the bench.
Where's his frame of mind on that power play after 100%. Being benched?
I don't get it. Anyway, yeah. That's they're the star. They're the star coaches, but sometimes common sense can be a pretty important part of it.
The other thing too, Mac, is the first goal, especially against such a disciplined team like the Islanders, because they can lock it in, and we just talked about Montreal locking it in, but chasing the scoreboard, you never want to do that against a real disciplined team or a team that can shut it down. And both Montreal and the Islanders have shown that, but you can't chase the scoreboard.
But are you like, I'm thinking back to the Florida series where it was a weird scoring type series. I think to the Carolina series, weird scoring type series. You get behind, you get ahead, you give up a lead, you blow it. They have not looked Stanley Cup-ish for me this year in the playoffs. I know they've had great individual plays, an unbelievable power play, but they have not looked as consistently good as they did last year in the playoffs for me. I mean, I know Florida's better. I know Carolina's a good team, but it just didn't look like playoff hockey a lot of the times in those games. So this is playoff hockey this round.
And then we get into the matchup, and if it's clear, if Vasilevsky gets outplayed by Varlamov, they'll lose the series. And maybe that's indicative of what you're talking about, because we've seen Vasilevsky at his best, and we've also seen him quite possibly at his worst when we've seen certain games this season. And
I like, go ahead.
Kulak's goal, you don't win.
No.
You don't win letting that shot find a way through you.
No. And even the first one on Barzal, look, Barzal made a hell of a play, and he powered it through the 5-hole. But Vasilevsky to me is the best goalie in the NHL. I love Varlamov's comments after. He said, I love that kid in the other net. He's one of my favorite people. He's such a down-to-earth, great kid. He's the best goalie in the NHL. Well, Varlamov was pretty good. This is a great Varlamov. You think about Varlamov, Washington, not bombed, but left. Colorado, problems. Goes to the Islanders in his second year with the Islanders, and right now he won 4 against the Bruins.
Yeah.
And this is his 5th. I mean, he looks pretty good. This is a great motivator for him to go head to head with his favorite goaltender of all time, although he's just still a kid and inexperienced. But Vasilevsky should win this. Should be a big part of Tampa Bay winning this series. He should be. He has to be, Nick.
Varlamov, to me, was so good yesterday for no other reason than just he made the saves that he was supposed to make.
Yep.
And I don't look at that game and say he stole it. He just did his job.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. He was solid all the way around, composed, and he has been for a lot of his time in Long Island. And what a luxury it is to play in front of that team, to play in front of that group with the way they play. That's a goaltender's dream. So, it's got the makings of a great series. And Tampa Bay, they've got some work to do to figure this out. Cooper gets in these situations all the time. In Columbus, 2 years in a row in Columbus, where he had to figure it out and get his team to adapt. Yeah. He's got to figure this out and have them adapt. So he's had good success. So this is another big test for John Cooper and the Lightning.
And it'll be Cooper's challenge to get these guys as disciplined to match that against the Islanders. I watched that penalty halfway through the first period where Goudreau, and we're huge fans of Barclay Goudreau, no question, and Coleman, but you want to punch Palmieri? He ain't punching you back.
Yeah, exactly.
You're never going to get that call evened up because you have to know what you're up against. And they will take 20 punches, this team, and they won't buckle. And if you want to go out and pick your spots, you run the risk of losing this series. And that's where I think my point was earlier, just that lack of respect, the lack of discipline that you did not match against the New York Islanders. That'll be Cooper's biggest challenge.
Yep.